Good afternoon, MLK students. Music to my ears. Hello, Ms. T. So today, thank you all for coming.
It's my pleasure to be here. I want to thank Mr. Jones for inviting me from the Legacy Foundation. The reason why Mr. Jones thought it might be nice if I came to speak to you is not just because of what I do on Channel 3, although later on if you guys want to ask some questions about Channel 3, I'm okay with that. But I recently, as you heard, wrote a book called Finding Dad, From Love Child to Daughter. I talk about my journey to find my biological father. There's a certain feeling of not knowing exactly where you stand in the world. And even though I thought, well, I am the smart, strong daughter of a single mom, I don't even need a dad in my life, I can do this. And for those of you who are growing up without a connection to your dad, you might feel the same way. But underneath it, I came to realize that there was a disconnected part of me. There was a part of me that wanted to find what I refer to as the other half of me. The reason I wrote the book 20 years later is because we learned a lot about forgiveness. Because when my father did finally re-enter my life, I knew I'd have to forgive him for all the times that he wasn't there and all the mistakes that he made, or we weren't going to get the happy ending that I ended up writing about in Finding Dad. And what I learned is when you actually pay attention to it and you heal it, you can transform it, and your life can be markedly different. And people say to me, oh my gosh, it sounds like a fairy tale. You woke up and you went on this journey to find your dad, and he turns out to be some wealthy guy who's a governor, and then you have a great relationship. And I say, you know what? Fairy tales aren't real, but forgiveness is magic. And that's really why I wrote Finding Dad. A whole field of the science of forgiveness. There's something that happens in our bodies and our minds when we forgive. And really what it means is we let it go. We say, I'm choosing to let this go. I'm choosing. So you're coming from your place of power to say, I choose to let this go. I don't condone it, but I'm not going to carry the anger and the hurt and the resentment and the fear anymore because it's hurting me. So I made that choice to say, let's just see where this goes. And because I decided to stick all of those negative feelings over here and give him a second chance, and let me just say, like, let's just see, how does he do? Will he really stay in my life? Will he really be here for me? He was. And I believe he was able to do that because I gave him an entryway. And I think before that, he was scared. He didn't know what to do. He didn't know how to tell his family. He didn't know how to tell the state. It didn't know about me, all those things. And we started to heal moment by moment. How many of you are growing up not that connected to your dads? Yeah. How many of you would like to see your dads more? Yeah. Yeah. If it's something you're even curious about, I would have that conversation with a trusted adult. Maybe even start it with a friend or an older brother or sister. Because what I found is that sometimes dads need to know that you actually think they'd make a difference. Sometimes they're afraid to come back into your life, and that is something that I learned in going through this journey. Many times those dads who aren't in your life didn't have a dad who was in their life, and they didn't learn how to be a good dad, and they didn't learn what they should do or why they matter to you. So I don't have all the answers about how we fix this, but I know that it starts with an open heart, and it starts with second chances. And I've gotten so many dads who have written to me and said, well, how do I messed up, how do I contact? And I said, well, just try, send a letter, send a call.
Legacy Foundation to you.
Thank you very much. Is that just like the one you're wearing? Oh, that looks warm, I love it, thank you.